What you had 15 years ago is very fragmented space in terms of agencies. You had PR agencies that did earned media or media relations, getting you media coverage. You had the SEO industry, which was its own little cottage industry, helping you try to outsmart Google to get your pages ranked. You had advertising firms, the traditional kind. You had digital marketing, which at the time was about banner ads and things like that. Or what's happened over time is all these things have come together. And so you have to get to, and they've come together partly because it's a natural synergy, but partly because with change, the rug has been pulled out from a lot of these agencies. So for example, SEO firms probably would have been just fine staying SEO firms today like they were 15 years ago. But Google wasn't okay with it because what SEO firms were doing were taking advantage of the inefficiencies and the gaps in Google's algorithms to make things that maybe really didn't objectively deserve to rank higher. And that's what people paid SEO firms for, as those things were taken away, and things like link farms and black hat SEO and all those things were kind of stamped out by Google. That meant maybe the best way to improve the authority of your website would be to actually get credible news sources to link to your site. Well, that sounds a lot like PR. PR, on the other hand, was dealing with the fact that whereas 20 years ago there were 2 PR people for every journalist, today there are 6 PR people for every journalist. That's not because PR has tripled in size, it's because the number of journalists has been declining. The industry's been hemorrhaging talent. And the result of that is that it's much harder for PR firms to do what people have always paid them to do, which is to get media placements, because guess what? There's no one on the other end of the phone anymore. If they pick it up or they answer their email, it's to say, hey, you know what? That's a great idea. Would you write an article for us? And then that's why we, like a lot of agencies, have former journalists on our staff, because the labor has been shifted from the media folks that can't afford it to the agencies who can. But it's a lot different to set up a 10-minute phone interview with the CEO of your client than to have a commitment to write a 1,200-word story. That can be the difference between 10 minutes and 10 hours. So you better make sure that that media placement is worth it. This is the kind of dynamic that's happening in PR. So across the board, all these different kinds of agencies, ad values, the value of any kind of broadcast ad or broad media ad has declined in value over the last 15 years. So you've got all of this tumult and change and decline, while at the same time you've got all these forces pulling these different disciplines together into something new. Certain things don't change. For example, people's need to trust. Forget 15 years ago. I mean, there have been studies with primates to show that they make decisions based on how much they trust another chimpanzee in their clan. And so the need to trust has carried through to this day. PR was designed 100 years ago to leverage the credibility of the media to help you learn to trust a brand or trust another source. People say that, we're in a low trust era, that we're post-truth and people don't trust anymore. That's actually not true. People need to trust. Who they trust changes. The landscape of how people trust has become more complex. But what will never change is that who we do business with, who we choose to be around, who we choose to marry or just have a beer with or buy $1 million software from. There's an element of trust that always has to be there. And our job, whether we're using media coverage or online reviews or other ways to help our clients earn that trust, that's the common theme, and it was true 15 years ago and it's going to be true 15 years from now.